Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video, and this is the second of the two requests that I got from Northlander, and this one is very much in the Northland. There are a couple of firsts actually as far as this video is concerned. It's the first time that the Weardale and Teesdale route DLC will be making an appearance. So we are starting at Durham and ending in Wearhead. And also it is the first time that the Class 31, another early diesel, will be making an appearance in any of these videos either. So yeah, we have a British Rail blue Class 31 transporting 12 PCA V wagons. There you go. The only other specific that he gave was that he wanted it to be sunny, well, clear, weather-wise. Everything else, well, I've made it autumn, I've made it 11:30 for what it's worth. So that is the setup. So let's get this one underway. And here we are, with the signal up ahead just turning to green. So here is the Class 31 making its first appearance. And it is one of those locos that, I mean, let's be honest, you wouldn't give it a second look. But it actually performs a hell of a lot better than its rather drab initial impression would give you. So let's set up the lights. I think that is pretty much all we need to do in here. I think there are cab lights. Yeah, so we'll switch them on. That is about it. So Wearhead is only 36.3 miles, so it's a relatively short trip by these video standards. Just take another look out here. We can see our 16 of these here wagons. Now for a Class 31, 16 of these will be pretty effortless. So, brakes off, let's get underway. So 25 mph speed limit as we pull out of Durham station. You can see from like the signage and all that that this is set, well, let's say back in time, I think it's set in the 50s. Here we have Durham Cathedral. cathedral in the background. We're now on an 80 mph section, so we can now crank up the throttle. That doesn't help me one bit. If it starts 50, I think it goes down to 20, so we'll treat that as a 20 mph section. I can only assume it's because we are going over points. Start braking. Yeah. Brakes on this thing are more than a bit useful. There we go. So So I think at that point where it splits there, the other section, I think that might be the section that goes on to somewhere like, maybe goes on to somewhere like Middlesbrough, Sunderland, sort of down that way, Hartlepool. So we are now entering the 45 mph section. You should be able to speed up pretty soon. There we go. No shortage of viaducts around here, that's for sure. No idea what the top speed of this thing is. It's not written anywhere. Brandon Colliery is next station. Obviously we won't be stopping anywhere en route. Freight train, there is really no point, so lot of coal hoppers. In the next video, I'm going to be coming back here, and it will be coal hoppers that I am transporting, but not those coal hoppers that we've just seen. Let's just say the loco is in for a bit of a tough time in that particular video. Anyway, that's the next one, not this one. So, get through Brandon Colliery Station. Next station coming up is Branspeth. I'm assuming that's it, but yeah, once again we're not stopping there, so about 3/4 of a mile, we'll be heading straight through that one. Yeah, speeding in a 31, you'd almost be proud of that achievement. Here we are at Branspeth station. I'm not remotely familiar with any of this sort of like part of the country, so yeah, we'll need comments from others as far as, you know, being able to tell anything about where we are. But I'm fairly certain that Northlander or Mick DC can come along and tell us a bit about it, or tell us a lot about it, you know. Right, so we've got 40 mph section coming up. We are going to need to brake a little bit. There we go. Trying to reduce the amount that we are losing speed wise. I don't mind it going up very slightly. This isn't really going up very slightly though. We are on a 1 in 250 downhill section, but yeah, speed is coming down, which is handy. Well, I mean, once we pass this 45 mph section, we should be okay. Let the speed build up again. It certainly does feel as though the Class 31 loco was built purely for freight. It has great initial you know, acceleration when it's from standstill to, like, you know, about 20. But from 20 upwards, acceleration is pretty slow. But yeah, with freight services, you don't need, you know, high speeds. You don't need high acceleration. You just need to be certain that you know, the goods are going to go from one end to the other. So I'm passing another colliery here. Like a class 27 which is passing. We are heading towards Willington station. Trusty R37 there. So yeah, that 37 with those coal hoppers. Now there's quite a lot of coal hoppers there, but those are, yeah, the original smaller coal hoppers. They're not the coal hoppers that we are transporting in the next video. So here we are at Willington station. So continuing the coast, we're on a 1 in 100 downhill section. So we are picking up speed. In fact, if it carries on like this, well, it's not carrying on like this. I was just going to say, if it carries on like that, we will need to control the speed with braking there, but no, we're fine. Throttle up to about 50. Gain some of that speed that we have lost. So Hunwick station, I'm assuming it's Hunwick, not Hunwick. Yeah, 3/4 of a mile to that station there. I have to say, although the route is quite slow, and I can imagine there being a few players not liking it because it's slow, the scenery is fantastic and it's really well rendered. It's a great looking route. Reduce. Okay, I took the throttle right down. Let's try and control the loss of speed. So we go through Hunwick station. So Wearhead is just coming up to 27 miles away. So we have a speed reduction to 25 mph coming up in just under a mile. I'm guessing there's a fairly tight curve coming up around there. And it slows even more. It looks like as we approach Bishop Auckland. Now I know there's a station there. So yeah, it could well be the approach to the station that's causing the speed reductions there, rather than any sort of curves. Although, I was just about to say there's no sign of the station, and there it is. Let's bring our speed down. That's braking way too hard. So we're into the 25 mph section here. So let's get us down to 15. Still managed to overdo it. Well, now that was overdoing getting the speed up, but somehow it sort of worked out okay. So we are into the slow old 15 mph section. Quite a few train sheds and that around here. That's another 27 over there we're just passing. I'm not sure about that one. I think that's a 105 DMU. Here. These people are all waiting around and walking along. It's as if they're waiting to get on this thing, but yeah, good luck finding any seats. Look like a Class 7 shunter. Okay, so we are getting back onto the main line here. Now hopefully once the entire train's on, we'll be able to go up to 45 even before it's all past that sign. Clearly that's not the case, so there we go. Right, bang it up to 100%. Let's get our speed up again. Just stopped that before we started speeding. So now is that easterly, easterly, whichever one it is, that's the station in 3/4 of a mile. Speed at quite the rate. Coasting at 0% throttle is not the best idea. I need to find somewhere on the throttle where I can at least try and sustain our speed. As Etherley Station, platform is just on one side. It's quite a surprise. This looks like another 37. Yeah. So we're going along in British Rail Blue, but you know, liveried Class 31. But all the other trains we're seeing in the area are all still British Railways green. God, I mean, the scenery is fantastic here. No, it really nicely rendered. It looks great. another 15 mph section. Can't really see why this particular line is only 15 mph. So, with just 3% throttle, we are sustaining our speed at 15.6. We're into the 25 mph section, now into a 45. You just got to wait for the entire train to get in there. So we can go up to 25 now. And now at a 45. So Whitton the Weir, next station looks like a fair sized station. Well, fair size by this line's standards anyway. So it's another station where the platform is just on one side there. So that was Whitton the Weir station. So on a 1 in 98 uphill climb here, so at least try and reduce the amount that our speed is coming down. Yeah, full throttle, and we're still losing speed. ground is now flattened. Again, I'm trying to reduce the amount that the speed is coming down. That seems to be doing it okay at the moment. So speed going up at a very slow rate, so we don't really need to worry too much about speeding just yet. So we had 25 mph max speed reduction in a mile. So that must mean the approach to another station. So the next station is Harper Lee. I can't believe that's where the author got the name from. Overdone the braking again. Yeah, here we are at Harper Lee Station. Another tidy little thing. Yeah, back to 45, so it's station is Walsingham, about 3/4 of a mile. No speed reduction through that station either, which is rather welcome. So here we are at Walsingham station. We're now on a 1 in 149 uphill climb, which yeah, that's rather steep for some locos, but it's not slowing us down any. Yeah, getting through that, no problem. But there is no doubt about it that of all the routes that are set in England that I've got, and certainly that I've shown in these videos, this is by far the most scenic. This one, yeah, it looks fantastic, this thing. So 20 mph section fast coming up. It's very short though before we can get back to 45. I'm assuming it's because of a bridge we're going over. Braking far too hard again. So we are in the avoiding line, so Frostily station here, but I mean we weren't going to be stopping here anyway, but so in fact this 20 mph could be, yeah, a set of points. Getting back onto the main, well, the main line of this section anyway. All right, all on. So another 25 mph speed reduction as we then head into Stanhope Station. It's not Doug Stanhope, is it? The only American comedian who's actually funny. Overdid the brakes, not by as much as I usually do, but yeah, they were still overdone. So we're into the 25 mph section. I think this bridge here certainly explains, or certainly part of the reason why this is only a 25 mph section here. So once again back onto the main part of the line. And now back up to 45. Wearhead is now less than 9 miles away. So on a 1 in 172 climb, hopefully we're not going to lose much speed, because yeah, I'm keeping the throttle on 43%. It seems to be doing the job so far. So Eastgate Station coming up. Well, in 3/4 of a mile. No speed reductions as we go through here. Only the one platform again. It's the one we're on. There we go. That was Eastgate Station. Climb has steepened quite a bit. It's now 1 in 102, so we've lost a fair bit of speed. Well, we lost 3 mph. Westgate station. It's just over half a mile ahead. Suspect it could be the last station before we reach Wearhead itself. Again, no speed speed limit changes as we enter or exit the station. Another class 27 there. There you go through at, well, I say at speed. So this climb is now on a 1 in 86, so we're probably losing speed as we go. We do have one more station, so St John's Chapel is the next station. Now that surely is the last one before Wearhead. By the time we've gone through that, Wearhead is only going to be like 2 miles away. Again, no speed speed limit changes as we enter or exit the station. Climb is not so steep now. It's still 1 in 107. It's still steep enough. I think St John's Chapel itself is that right there. I thought it might be something a little larger. It's now 1 in 76 climb, so it has now got a lot steeper. And we are losing speed as we go, despite being at full throttle. But Wearhead is less than a mile and a half away, so it's probably not that big a deal. start braking for this 15 mph section. You probably don't need to brake anywhere near as hard as I did. I mean, we're still on a 1 in 76 climb, so yeah, our speed's going to come down anyway. There we go, we are now. There we go, that's fine for now. Now, Wearhead Station, which I think is where it's going to send us. Obviously, there's no way the entire train is going to be stopping on there. But, you know, as far as we're concerned, once we've stopped, the shunters will come in and, yeah, start removing the, yeah, the trucks and all that from the rear. So there we are. So that was Durham to Wearhead in the class 31. The train had absolutely no problems at all with this route. In fact, this train was tailor-made for this route. It's not a hugely fast train, but it doesn't need to be. It just needs the power to pull a decent amount of freight wagons, which it certainly has. I mean, the wagons on the back here weren't even close to, you know, challenging what this loco can do. And as for the route is fucking fantastic. Easily the most scenic route set in England that I have. And only one speeding error, which I will certainly take. So yeah, that was a great one. So there we are, Durham to Wearhead in the class 31. I suspect both Route and Loco will be making additional appearances. Well, the Route certainly will, because like I was saying during the video, we're coming back here for the next one. So, but there we go. That is this video done, and we will see you at the next one.